Hello and welcome to Let's Talk Sports live match preview of the Milano Derby. Yes, it's AC Milan versus Inter Milan at the San Siro this Sunday. Of course, both teams battling it out for the Serie A title, which we haven't seen in about a decade. I think the last time these two were at the top, about to face each other, was in 2011, and this weekend it's the 174th meeting between the two big sides of Italy. And as you can see from Seb True, he's really up for this, yawning away. He needs
Sorry
to
about
get
that.
his
Sorry.
sleep, I think, before this game because this could be an absolute energy fest between the rivalry of the Kaku and Zlatan Ibrahimovic, as you can see below our screen. When these two teams last played in the Coppa Italia, which was only a few weeks ago, that was live on Let's Talk Sport. There was a big moment in that game when Lukaku and Zlatan couldn't keep away from each other. They just wanted to have a kiss, but it just didn't happen. And instead, there was fire, there was destruction out on that San Siro pitch, and it ended up with Zlatan not injured, sent off in that second half of the game, and Inter Milan won 2-1. Seb, this is a rivalry we've really missed in Serie A, and I think really this is an occasion for even the neutral football fans out there to watch this one because this looks like a thriller.
It does, and we've missed AC Milan. I mean, Inter the last team to have won Serie A who won Juventus. Oh wait, no, AC Milan. Sorry, I mixed that up. But since then, they haven't been competitive really. And even in these derbies, I think in the last 10, only AC Milan have won the recent ones. They're, they were slowly getting back to the top with a great start to the season, but as I actually predicted, they are starting to stumble now. You see over their last few games. I mean, just losing to Atalanta the other week, losing to Inter in the cup, losing to Spezia at the weekend, and not even getting a win in Europa League midweek. It's starting to fall apart slowly for Pioli and AC Milan. But nonetheless, if AC Milan finish in the top four, this is a successful season. So the fact that they're still in the title race, well, 1 point behind Inter Milan, it's still a very good season. On the other hand, Inter they they just know how to get the points. Usually, that I mean, there are some disappointing games this season, but they usually can just about get the points. And Conte is still one of the best managers in Italy at the moment, so don't ever underestimate him. This game, though, the reverse fixture was 2-1 to AC Milan. It was I don't know if I remember it very well, but it seemed like AC Milan really got the better of them in the first half, and Ibrahimovic missed a penalty. So yeah, I don't know what to expect from this one. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be a feisty one. Yeah, Lukaku, Ibrahimovic again. I'm not really too sure what to expect. AC Milan are missing Benacer again. He went off injured during Europa League match, which is a big miss because AC Milan looked half the team they are without him in already. And if he's injured for another lengthy period, then that's just going to be a big blow to their title hopes.
And of course, it was a draw, wasn't it, away from home yesterday for AC Milan, which
Yeah.
yeah, worrying. But luckily, their opponents did get a red card, so the home tie could be interesting. And they've got two away goals, so that is what's really important when you have your first game away from home. So when they go to the San Siro, AC Milan will be hoping that they can seal that and then head to the last 16. And I mean, Seb, let's talk about Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Where would AC Milan be without him? You know, we wouldn't even be talking about a title charge, I don't think, without him.
Yeah, you could say that, but he's played 12 of the 22 games that this season for AC Milan in the league. So his leadership presence is more clear now than there ever was in any other club. I think he's shown that he is a leader for this young team, but I don't think he's. I think a lot of credit has to still be given to the AC Milan team. I mentioned when we
Yeah,
were doing one of our streams that in January they bought Ibrahimovic last year, and they also bought Simon Kjaer at centre back, and he's been immense. He has been absolutely terrific for AC Milan. It's not for no reason that they're one of the best defenses or were till a few weeks ago in Serie A. They just needed that experience to mix to blend in with the potential they have because all the players in that team, most of them have great potential. Benacer is 23. They've got Tonali, who hasn't had the greatest of seasons, but is still 20. Even Kessie, who's 24, if I'm not wrong. Leao, uh, Teo Hernandez, even Donnarumma is still at 21. It's a young squad, so the likes of Kier and Ibrahimovic are key, but they are not the element to this whole AC Milan team. Now I wonder, with these injuries hitting left, right, and centre, how they deal with it. As I've mentioned already multiple times, Benacer, how are they going to manage that? Because I'm still not convinced Tonali can fill in that role. They've tried Diaz in there as well, who's also injured, so not an option. So it's probably going to be Kessie and Tonali tomorrow. They might try Calabria as well, who's a right back who they put into midfield once. I don't know. It's going to be an intriguing one to see how Pioli approaches this. If he goes more cautious, because knowing their current run of form and knowing that they've just played in Europe midweek, he probably has to dial it down a little. Inter Milan have nothing else to play for at the moment,
Yeah,
except the cup, which is in April. So, or not even there's not even a set date for it yet. So it's just the league now. They've got to go all out in the league. So this game, yeah, I expect them to go full throttle at AC Milan on Sunday.
they it's funny because I think it's pretty clear who are the favourites, and that is Inter Milan.
Mm-hmm.
As you mentioned, the form. I think AC Milan have lost 2 in the last 5 games, and Inter Milan have won 4 of the last 5 games, and the other game was a draw. So yeah, the form is more on Inter's side, and Conte knows what it takes to win a league title. He's done it in England with Chelsea, as we all remember. He knows how to
He did
get.
it with Juventus.
He did it with Juventus, of course. I forgot about that. So he knows how to win the Serie A title. But I think if they win this game, they go 4 points clear, and there's no one else threatening them. Roma are 10 points behind if they win this game. Um, if Inter Milan win their game, on Sunday, then that means Roma will be 10 points behind. I can't see Roma catching up with that. They're a bit inconsistent themselves. So I just
And
think
Roma is still in Europe,
and Roma's still in Europe. So I
which is
think
quite surprising. I'm always impressed by Fonseca, who what the job he's doing at Roma. I know he has a lot of his critics, but he is stretching. He is getting the maximum out of that squad at the moment, and the fact that they're still in with the shout. I mean, if they win their game against Benevento, which is not an easy game to get up against Inzaghi, who's done well with Benevento this season.
yeah.
Um, if they win that game, then they still stay 7 points behind Inter Milan. But if Inter Milan win, AC Milan lose, Roma win, Roma go within 3 points of AC Milan, which I don't think anyone would have seen coming at a certain stage at this stage in the season. And also Juventus. I mean, I didn't expect them to lose against Napoli at the last weekend, but they did. They lost against Porto midweek. Is this going to start spiraling down for Pirlo? Maybe, because well, they've got Crotone, which is last place, should be an easy match. But then the next match is Verona, Spezia, and Lazio, and I don't think any of those 3 matches are easy. So Juventus could fall far behind. If Inter win this derby, I think it's just the red carpet's rolled out for them to win it now.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. And they've got all those individual players like the Kaku, Ashley Young, Kolarov, all them lot
It's weird that
who
you mentioned Kolarov and Ashley Young. When they're individuals, there's Martinez, there's Sanchez, there's Barea,
Oh,
there are other
forget
players
Sanchez. Oh, what a fraud.
You say Perisic even, but yet you
Or
go for
Vidal.
Ashley Young and Kolarov.
Yeah.
Even
I d-
Brozovic. So the only
okay, so
doubt for this game.
we forgot Darmian as well.
Hakimi.
Hakimi, but
So
he's been more on the bench, hasn't he, Hakimi?
Hakimi's a bit of a strange one.
I don't know
I
what to
think
think of him. I don't know if I rate him, to be honest.
I think Conte is trying extreme discipline actions against him just because he's ill disciplined tactically. Recently, it's fine. He's getting the 90 minutes, but sometimes he just doesn't play, and then Darwin plays the whole match. And there was a period where he kept interchanging them, and I thought, this is weird. I mean, Hakimi's got to be the starter. He's the expensive transfer. But I don't think Conte rates him. I think Conte is frustrated by his tactical
I don't think
lack
Conte
of
rates
discipline.
anyone now and again, but
He can't transform Hakimi. He walks about too often. But with this Inter Milan side, they've only got the league to play for, and the only injury that they might have on Sunday is Sensi. And in all fairness, I thought Sensi might have a key role to play in this Inter side about a year or a year and a half ago. Now I see Brozovic and Barea. I mean, Sensi was good at keeping the ball, keeping possession delicately. Brozovic and Barea, between them, are both as capable of doing that. So Inter are basically missing no one this weekend.
No,
as I
no,
always
no. You're
say.
right. I mean, the only one I think I'm seeing from the team use is Sensei. So,
Yeah, yeah,
with a
yeah,
muscle injury, as you mentioned. So,
yeah.
but looking at AC Milan, Ibrahimovic was rested, as Seb mentioned, I think before in the Europa League draw. Um, but I'm sure he'll start. If especially,
We wonder
and he'll
why he
be.
was rested.
Oh yeah, I wonder why. And he'll be fired up for this, no doubt. And Marin Mandzukic made his debut back on Thursday, as in the first start, I think, for AC
Yeah.
Milan. And uh, I mean, could he play Mandzukic and Zlatan together in the starting lineup on
Well,
Sunday? I mean, I don't know. It seems on paper it don't look too bad, but can it work?
um, quick answer:
No,
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 no.
no.
I see that. I saw the way
Most of the time is
Jolie
a
brought
no from Seb.
he brought on Mandzukic and kept Ibrahimovic
Doctor
on
No,
against Atalanta. And
Mister No.
okay, Atalanta don't play the same style of
No,
football
no,
as.
no, no, no.
You okay there?
Yeah, 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 yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know if my sound was
Go
off
on.
and you were just interrupted.
No, no.
I saw the way he was trying to play against Atalanta, trying to get a goal near the end, and he basically just put Ibrahimovic and Mandzukic up front, and it just didn't work. It was really dysfunctional. Two up front in Italy is a hard thing to master unless you've got very mobile players and one who's a very obvious focal point, and even that is not exactly functional. So two strikers I've not seen work that often in Italy. I say that, but then Lukaku and Martinez are two strikers who play up front together. But they are very complementary and do have two very different skill sets. Mandzukic and Ibrahimovic, large, slow target men,
Mm.
two of them. That takes a lot out of your team, especially a team that's missing Benacer who can run that midfield. Yeah, I don't see them playing both together. I see Ibrahimovic definitely starting.
Yeah, and Mandzukic on the bench, and of course, it's one of those, isn't it, where it's will AC Milan take a draw? Because I feel like a draw would be a better result for AC Milan when thinking about it even more.
I don't think it'll be enough because in the coming weeks they've got Napoli and they've got Roma coming up, so they probably need to pick up the points quickly. And that 1 point, how to say, delay on Inter might scare them a
And
little
this is
because
a
they
home
are
game.
ahead.
See what I did there? I'm
I wonder,
clever.
I wonder if they change dressing rooms each time at the San Siro when they play at
Yeah.
home. Do they have the same sets dressing room for AC Milan and Inter Milan, or do they have a home and away? And every time AC go there, they're basically home until they play away against Inter, then they're in the other dressing room.
I do wonder that surely the change rooms are the same. I mean, this is a stadium that hosted the Champions League final in 2016, which you've got to have both change rooms similar.
Mm.
No advantages or disadvantages when it's a neutral venue for that game. So maybe I don't know. Maybe for TV rights or purposes, they've got to have it left or right. So when they come out, they're coming out like the way the team is on the scoreboard, because this is technically an AC Milan home game, which means nothing, of course, but that's just for the scoreboard and for the Serie A organisers. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, I think before we wrap it up, we're going to do our usual predictions. Seb, I'm going to go for an Inter Milan win, and I'm going to go for 2-1. Pretty much the same scoreline as we saw in Coppa Italia. It will be messy. It will be on fire. There will be moments between players because they just want to get the win. But I just think Inter Milan have more guns in that team to beat AC Milan.
Yeah, and AC Milan have counted a lot on these in the derbies, they've counted on first half performances. If you take typically, like last time, they scored the Ibrahimovic goals very early on in the 4-2 where they lost last year. They scored two goals in the first half and were winning 2-0. This is the thing about Inter. They start slow. This is the thing about AC. They start quickly. So I can say that the first half AC will win. The second half Inter Milan will win. But I'm guessing that Inter Milan will win the game in general, about 3-1.
3-1. Okay, so Seb says 3-1. I say 2-1. We're both going for Inter Milan. But we want to know at home, who do you think will win this Sunday's Milan Derby? Is it AC Milan or Inter Milan? Well, you can find out with us, because on Sunday, me and Seb, and hopefully our good friend Andrew Pollard, who loves his Italian football and I'm sure will share some Great stories from his time of watching Serie A, including the 90s. What a time to be alive, especially for him. Do join us in our live watch along, which begins at 1:55 p.m. That is the UK time, so that'll be just minutes before the game kicks off at 2 p.m. at the San Siro. And of course, we'll have our live chat page. Do join us and let us know your predictions on the live chat page for the game. You can ask us questions, talk to us during the stream, and I'm sure we'll have a good time. Anyway, don't forget to subscribe to Let's Talk Sport for more of our videos, and we'll see you over the weekend. Have a good one.